Good morning. I had a horrible night. First, when I went to bed, my left ear, it sounded like a gigantic metal drum was attached to it, and everything had this very sharp metallic ring to it. And I think even when I was sleeping on that ear, you feel this metallic ring in the ear. But let's not focus on that. The good news is that it's gone. I was a bit desperate yesterday afternoon, or last night, when I was thinking about, oh man, if this is gonna stay. But yeah, at the moment it feels fairly alright. And then during the night there was a bird. So these were my saving grace, or earplugs. I quite often, when birds chirp at night, I have this envision of me taking a flamethrower and grilling them all. Don't come beeping outside and it must have been very late, very early, talking about 3-4 in the morning. But because of noisy elevators and noisy punters at the hotel, I'm armed with earplugs. But still, I woke up, I don't know, it was the bird or what I woke up to. But then I had these night thoughts about how impossible my work situation is. It has been for a couple of weeks. Or not work situation, but I have not been able to produce anything. I can't get the stuff that worked already, but I can't get it to deploy in this other environment. And there's time constraints involved. And I was getting a bit stressed when I was trying to think, how do I'm doing the best I can, but it just doesn't fly. People who make packages and I kind of leave it at that and just make a mess out of things, and then just plus have a know-it-all attitude, so that I'm going to ask him to rectify the problem today, but let's see. Given that this is a record of how I've altered my sustenance during or after the diagnosis, yesterday evening I succumbed and I had a bulldog IPA, and then I had a Riesling, so I had 2 alcoholic beverages, and then I had a Swedish blue mussel pasta. The images, unfortunately, I already ate the thing, but I think they make a mean pasta here. Then for breakfast I had, this standard but this restaurant, they don't have beans. I kind of took a liking to them, but they don't have beans, so I just had fruit, nuts, and rose hip soup, and then I had a mug of blueberry soup or a glass of tea and vegetables. And for lunch today, I had a salad with some cured salmon. I don't know how it was prepared. It was a bit more dark, and the texture was halfway cooked, and so I haven't had that kind of salmon before, but it was good. And what else? Yeah, I spent the whole day, or not the whole day, but I've spent 2 weeks now trying to fix somebody's thing. And now what I did in the morning, I said, now I've played around long enough, and I installed Eclipse on the actual machine, because we're in a dev bubble. You cannot connect it from anywhere. So I installed Eclipse there and set up the project there, and discovered it's wrong. Then yeah. But the positive thing is, after toiling with it there was also my bug one in there, but that was only when I got the environment up and running. Now I'm in a situation where I'm actually getting messages, and I can, for me, I get stuff produced if I get to debug it, go step by step through the code, and then I say, oh yeah, now it's going like that, I'll change this and tweak this. Maybe I'm a bad programmer, but that's how I get it done, and I get it deployed, and then the previous daemon that I had, it has been up and running for a year here, and the customer is happy with it. They ask it, please switch it on. We're going to have a demonstration. So, yeah. I tried to run a bit, because there's 2 buses I can take, number 1 or number 72. And I walked to the side of number 1, and then I noticed, 72 is coming, and I tried to run to the 72 bus stop, but I couldn't. And then luckily number 1 came fairly fast, but the fact that I can't run it weighed on me, and it does weigh on me. So now maybe go to the gym and then have a dinner. The saying, ei se ole tyhmä, joka kysyy, in Finnish. Basically it means you're not stupid by asking. So I thought that it's a public holiday. I'm a top floor member, and they may have a better room for me. So yeah, public holiday, there's free space in the hotel. So I went out to the reception when I was going to the gym. I said, mate, you have a bit, a room with a view for me. I like to make time-lapse videos. I think I'm going to actually send the video to them when I get it. I'm going to do something to it. Add this music to, well, maybe they'll produce or like the raw video better. But basically, I've got a view now. I think we've had the same view with Terhi sometimes, but that's the King's. I think that's some King's library, and this is the Humlegården Park, and the room is a lot bigger. It's got twin beds and a small couch in it, and yeah, it looks a lot more spacious than the previous room. Ah, it's got a bathtub in it. How spectacular is that? So basically what I'm going to do next night, I'm going to set my phone to take a time-lapse video out of that window, and I'm hopefully going to get a glorious sunrise. This time it was the cross trainer, and I think I got my heart rate up easier with it. But the walking after training, it's not pretty to watch. I'm nearly falling over. And I think a treadmill would not work, but a cross trainer and a bicycle, or kuntopyörä, whatever they're called in English, those will work because they kind of have the elevation for your foot. But if you would have to lift your foot yourself, then I would be, not always, but occasionally, then you nearly fall over. So I was up to, this is mainly for me to remember, I was starting from an 8, increasing it up to 12, the level on the cross trainer. And I was thinking, Terhi has always wanted a treadmill in the house, but maybe I would be willing to discuss one of these cross trainers, because they give you a bit of an upper body workout and then you get your legs. You can do it without hands and you can include your hands. But now, shower and down for dinner. Let's see. I won't be consuming any alcohol, but maybe a pasta. Or let's see what their daily specials were. Other one was meatball pasta. I'm not going to go with that, but maybe there's something else. So, went to Jamie's and had fish and chips. It was good. I was doubting the deep fried stuff, but went for it still. Had water with it, so I didn't succumb to the temptations of alcohol this time. So why I made this entry is I was reading my book and I thought that it would be unfair towards my siblings and even my parents, because apparently if you, what do you call it, don't monitor what you eat, it might strike even at an older age. But so the book read, MS is more common in family members of people with MS. I was unaware of this until I was diagnosed with MS. Some authorities say it is up to 80 times more common in first-degree relatives like brothers and sisters or children. We now know that identical twins have 300 times the risk of other people of getting MS if the other twin has the disease. It has long been taught that for 10 pairs of identical twin in which one of each pair gets the MS, then 3 of the other twins will get the disease. That is a 30% risk. So basically, obviously the identical twins can't with us, but the idea is that I would
put forth is that I would maybe limit my saturated fat intake. So get off the bacon and the meats and look towards vegetables and low fat and stuff. Consider yourself warned.
Last night's time-lapse video wasn't so great. It didn't have action and the sun came up from the wrong location. There's surprisingly many people here at the office, given that it's a public holiday in Sweden, as it is in Finland. And the weather's absolutely marvelous. And had again my typical morning lunch with greens, fruit and nuts and rosehip soup, tea and 2 biscuits. It isn't the same as bacon and eggs, but you know, you do what you do. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I'm heading home today on a 6 o'clock flight from Sweden, so it's going to be home around 8, something like that. And the key thing that I forgot to mention is that Jesus is king.